and welcome to the Chit Chat by Microdac. Today I wanted to talk to you about working for yourself. You live in a country where you are given all kind of opportunities to do precisely that. Let's talk about one way that you can work for yourself based upon what you know, right? First of all, if you took the time out to know who you are, that is to know yourself, and to be true to yourself, then you're not easily influenced by people outside, nor are you easily influenced by television. You live your life according to yourself, okay? If you make 20 bucks an hour right now, then you're making a lot of money, right? But then when you subtract your taxes, your gas, your car payment, your maintenance for your job, and all that sort of stuff, it isn't really that much now, is it? But what if you worked for yourself? You stayed home, you worked for yourself, doing what you find to be natural for you. You write books. That's right. You simply write books about what you know, your skills, your experiences, and so forth. Now, let's assume for a minute that your grammar and spelling is as awful as mine. Trust me, mine is pretty bad. And for years, that was a restriction on myself. I used to say, look, I don't know anything about grammar, I can't spell, so therefore I won't write. Then I met a very good friend of mine by the name of Joe Culver who told me this. He said, and it's one of the best advice I ever received. He said, you know what? You write about what you know, and then you get somebody to edit what you write. Simple as that. In my case, I worked in a newspaper. Joe was the editor. Joe would edit what I write and get published. People never gave Joe credit. They would read something that was perfect, thinking that I wrote it, when all the time I just wrote what I felt, and Joe would edit it to make it more easy for the person to read. See, that's it. So, if your grammar and spelling is as bad as mine, just get an editor, a school teacher, English teacher, somebody who has worked as anywhere, somebody who's more educated than you are, and let them edit it for you. How's that? Now, many years ago, to publish anything, you'd have to find a publisher, and this publisher would only publish your work if, in fact, he could make, or she could make money. If they could not make any money on what you wrote, it would never get published. Then somebody came with a bright idea. Why not have a vanity press? That's right. Why not have the person pay to have their work published? And a lot of really good books were published by vanity presses. And nowadays, of course, in the 2016, the 21st century, we have Amazon and the Kindle publishing and all these great avenues for you to express yourself. So, you write about what you know. And by the way, let's assume for a minute that all you make is just $5 a month per book that you write. So in 52 weeks, let's say in 52 weeks you wrote, say, 50 books, right? Making $5 a month. What is that? Well, let's get up the old modern convenience, the old calculator again, and let's see what that looks like. So, you get to the calculator, and this is what we have. You wrote 50 books for the year, and each book brings you $5 a month, and for 12 months, and what you have is roughly $3,000 a year doing what you love to do. Now keep in mind, as the more books you write, in the second year you're going to make $6,000. In the third year you're making $18,000. No, yeah, could be, because you have doubled, you built up a readership. In the fourth year you could be making, say, $40,000. Now you have invested 4 years in yourself making $40,000 because you have built up a readership, and these readers can't wait for you to publish your work. $40,000 working for yourself. Think about it. Now my math may be a little fuzzy, but my logic is very clear. Number one, and I want to emphasize this, you're special, you're unique, what you have to say has value, has merit, and there are people out there willing to listen to what you have to say. See, look, you've been looking at my pictures, and you've been listening to me. And what have I said? Not much. But somehow, somewhere along the line, you're going to find that something I said had value. And you're going to say, Let me think about that. And you get out your own calculator and you do your own figuring and you come to the conclusion, why not? I am just as good as that person. I can do just as well as that person. What I have to say is just as important as that person. Now imagine if you had a skill. Let's say you know about gardening or being a carpenter or being a plumber or being a handyman. Imagine how much more your books would be. Their value would increase tremendously because now you have a skill. And let's assume that you live in a very unique place, like in the swamp somewhere. Can you imagine life in the swamp, how interesting that would be? Or what about up in the mountains somewhere, or by the beach? So you take a look at who you are, where you are, what you are, you write about what you know, and there you have it. Amazon, they will publish your work free, absolutely free. All you have to do is to have the guts, the enthusiasm, the discipline, and the belief in yourself. None of that costs money. Hey, look at me. I'm making a video on my front porch and you're watching it. Okay, so this is my chat for today. Until next time, hang in there. And trust me, you are very, very special. You're very unique. And what you have to say is very important. Thanks for looking at my pictures. By the way, did you know, one more thing. Did you know that these pictures are not as good as the ones that you could take with your cell phone? Modern cell phones with cameras, those cameras are amazing. You could take pictures just like this, couldn't you? And you could publish those pictures along with what you write. You would not need a photographer because your cell phone is that good. Okay, that's it for today.